bridge. They facilitate rebuilding a professional network that benefits both. This all results in stronger families, stronger companies, a stronger local economies, and it also results in a country that we can all feel proud of. I feel super proud of this organization and our committee's work now more than ever. So thank you very much for tonight and for being here. And I'm going to pass it off to Nikki Cicerani, our President and CEO.
Thank you, Todd. I, of course, have to start with thanking tonight's co-chairs, Tony and Oleg, our honorees, Dr. Faridi, Jen Zervigon, and, of course, Tanya O'Connor. Thank you. I also want to take a minute to thank the leadership of the companies here supporting you, from AT&T, Argo, Univision, McCormick, and the colleagues and friends who showed up for you tonight. Thank you also for supporting these lovely and very impressive leaders and for coming to support tonight. So here it is. This is my 20th Upwardly Global Gala. It's 20th time I'm standing at a podium at an Upglow Gala, but tonight feels a little different. 2017 added new complexity to the question, why immigrants and refugees? I'm the CEO, I've got to answer that question. In our homes and public forums, I'm sure we've all been having conversations about our values this year, and we've done the same at Upglow, and it is not an unfair question. Why immigrants and refugees? So Todd shared some of the statistics where, from a quantitative perspective, something of a no-brainer. Upglow is a one-time intervention. Legal, diverse talent goes from existing on $9,000 a year to $51,000 a year with benefits. We've got a 92% retention rate after a year in their first professional job. They add immediately and in perpetuity to the tax base and the consumer spending of their local economies. I think we get it. But the facts alone are not what bring me back to the podium year after year. Upwardly Global is about something even more fundamental than smart market making. It's about who we are as a community and as a country. Upwardly Global represents a value that is fundamentally American, that everyone who comes here deserves a shot to succeed. Yeah. And I've been here a while, so I've witnessed nearly 5,000 immigrants and refugees who got that shot. They did get the hang of a US job search, and they did compete. And they succeeded not because they're immigrants or refugees, not because any employer pre-agreed to hire them, but because they were quite simply the most qualified candidate for the job. Upwardly Global just helped them believe it, and then we taught them how to let the employers see it. Hot dog stand vendor back to medical researcher, gas station attendant back to environmental engineer, despair to hope, hope to success. The ability for the underdog to win represents the very best of this country. And when we reflect to our newcomers that they have value, that we see that value, that we're ready to embrace it, that represents the very best in us as people, as a community. And the world's always looked to the US as a beacon of welcoming and opportunity. The world needs a strong example right now as well. Global migration is at an all-time high. Forced migration is 40% higher than it was in just 2000. There are 60 million displaced people. So when we gathered as a leadership team and board last year, we had to ask ourselves, how can we do more? So we answered with three things. We have to go deeper. More of the people who come to us, who do our training, they have to get placed. So we had to address barriers like English language proficiency. We had to address outdated technical skills. And with partners like Education First and Coursera, we're now providing ESL assessment and training. We're now offering critical skills training for free to our refugee job seekers around the country. We had to go broader. We had to touch more lives. So with a 4-year, $3 million investment from our longtime partner, Accenture, we've taken our training and technology platform to the next level, enabling us to license our training and resources to other organizations. And so when the whole ecosystem, the refugee resettlement system, the community college system, the government's workforce system can do our work, then we'll truly have systemic change. And we've already partnered with leading service providers in the field, from the Alexandria Workforce Development Center in Virginia, the Welcoming Center for New Pennsylvanians. All across the country, we've got new people doing Upglow. Quick fun fact, we're also in discussion with Miami-Dade Community College, which is the country's largest community college, and we were brought into discussions on that partnership by the Assistant Dean of the Engineering Program, who is an Upwardly Global alumni. And the last thing we had to do was get louder. We had to educate stakeholders at the state, local, and federal level about our issue, and we had to get our issue out into the mainstream. So we're proud. We're proud that we've been featured in NPR, Wall Street Journal, the Chicago Tribune, and The Economist this year alone, to name just a few. So with these strategies, we're on track to reach over 40,000 immigrants and refugees by the end of 2020. When we started our first office in New York, it was so infrequently that we would find out that a job seeker was placed that we had to find a way to make a big deal out of it. It was just a lot of quiet. And so we started to do this thing. When we would find out one of the job seekers we were working with got placed, we'd ring a bell. And everybody'd come out and we'd tell the story. Oh, Alpha got a job with American Jewish World Services, or Christian is finally, there you are, got a job with Con Ed, back as an engineer. And we would celebrate it. So tonight, our honorees will be getting a bell to signify how they've contributed to the Upglow mission. And you do. Trust me, you do. Because back then in New York, we were ringing that bell once every 5 business days. Today, we ring it once every 2 business hours. You really do contribute. So without further ado, the real reason you're all here is from our alumni, and I'm honored to call up our alumnus, Ermeya Ouedraogo. Please welcome him. And this is why I don't drink until after I speak. Okay, so I have the very great honor and privilege of giving Jen Zervigon her award tonight. I'm sure she would have appreciated having an alumni or alumnus do it, but I insisted because it's my only chance to publicly say thank you. So in 2009, I became the CEO of Upglow, and I succeeded our founder, and that was not easy. She was big personality, fantastic vision. So I had 2 big initial challenges. I needed to build my vision. For the organization, I needed to build my board who could guide and support that vision. So introduced to me through Robinhood, Jen Zervigon was the first person I advocated that we add to the board. So not just strategic and passionate about the work, she signaled she was ready to jump in and do whatever it took to help us grow. We were a very small organization at the time. That was exactly what we needed, and that is exactly what she did. Always at meetings, always prepared, always asking the right questions, but also always present to me, always present to the team, motivating behind the scenes, rolling up sleeves when necessary, and fundraising without fear. Anyone who's ever led a nonprofit now knows Jen is that unicorn. When we were getting ready to vote in a new board chair, I encouraged her to raise her hand. Our national board needed a little leadership glue, and I could see that Jen was it. Just like Upglow could bring out the best in our job seekers, Jen could bring out the best in people too. So with her at the helm, we took steps forward as an organization. It's the kind of stuff. Board retreats were planned far in advance, and they had relevant and engaging agendas. Board meetings flowed better as she worked behind the scenes with me to do the hand-to-hand combat necessary, to build the vision, to get everybody signed on to key decisions. Even more importantly, she made fruitcakes and gave them out at board meetings to members who were really leaning in, and she wore a tiara, and she made us call her Madam Board Chair. Jen advanced me as a leader too. She pushed me to take more risk. She didn't let me punish myself too badly when it didn't work out, and when necessary, she helped fix things. Given the timing of her tenure as a board chair, she was subject to being a sounding board to me for more than Upglow's issues as I worked out my many insecurities as a first-time mother. She handled that perfectly as well, often responding to my maternal self-doubt of questions like, why don't my kids eat any vegetables, with reassurances like, it's fine, Eddie had a Pop-Tart for dinner. Gen Z, you are a human sparkler. I will forever be grateful that you brought your light to Upglow. I'm thrilled and honored to present you with the first ever Immigrant and Refugee Service Award for all you've done for our organization and the many ways it has impacted these special new Americans. Thank you. Come on up. Where's the bell? Oh.